Hi students, my name is Melanie Basham and I will be your instructor for this course. This is the orientation video for English 101, the online version. And what I'm going to do in this video is take you through a brief rundown of the organization of our Blackboard shell and also go over some items on our course syllabus. So if you're watching this video, I will assume that you have been able to log on to Blackboard and that you've been able to go into our course and that you clicked on the Start Here button. So let's go back to the Start Here button and let's just look at some items there. So the first week of this course, this is just your orientation week basically. So this week you're going to complete the items that you find here on the Start Here page. And the Start Here page, kind of like this video, seeks to orient you to where things are in the course. So at the very top of that page you will see a little box that says QM on it. So that stands for Quality Matters. And this is just a system that Calhoun has adopted to make sure that all of its online classes have some kind of unity. So from course to course, whether you're taking my class or someone else's class, they should be structured similarly. So hopefully that will help you, especially for those of you who have taken online classes before. You might have felt like you were a little bit lost as far as that went. So hopefully that will be helpful to you. Okay, so let's scroll down. You'll see underneath that the Let's Get Started box. And so it just tells you the purpose and structure of this course. So this is a composition class, so the purpose of our course is to help you develop skills to compose essays. And there's a lot that goes into that. So we're going to start at the beginning of the course talking about how do you develop a topic. And as we go along, we'll talk about how do you write a thesis statement, how do you write an outline, how do you write paragraphs, all the way to how do you revise and proofread. So the first part of our course will be organized that way, where we're just learning the elements of an essay and how to execute those elements. And then a little further on in the semester, we will start actually writing those essays. So don't feel overwhelmed. It's a step-by-step process, and hopefully that can help you if you've struggled with essays before. Okay, so you'll see that Let's Get Started box has a list of what you need to do for this week, items 1 through 5. Just make sure that you complete all of those items, and there are specific instructions for you, so you should be able to do that. All right, let's scroll on down. Course objectives and organization. So the objectives for this course, we have 5 of them. The first 4 of those are mandated from the state of Alabama. So we are going to, as I've already talked about, develop and use strategies for writing from thinking about our topic all the way through revising an essay. So that's one thing we'll seek to do. Secondly, I hope that you can learn in this class a way to work on how to structure an essay. We'll talk about that, and then also talk about speaking very specifically and generally about a variety of topics. The third objective there is that you work on your reference skills. So that will involve us studying how to cite sources and to use MLA format. We can do that. Number 4 is a big one for this class. So develop analytical and critical thinking skills as it relates to reading. So the main textbook that you'll have for this course, and we'll talk about it in a moment, it is a book full of readings. And I've chosen some of those. And so what we're going to do is read those, discuss them on our discussion board, and then I'm going to try to help you think of ways to think about those texts critically. So ask the how and the why questions about those texts. And what that will do, it will lead you to deeper understanding of those texts, and it will also give you ideas for what to write about. Okay? And then number 5, that you should demonstrate familiarity with the policies and then also be able to communicate well. So that's really what this week is all about. You're going to go through all of our course policies just like you're doing watching this video, and then you're going to take a quiz over the course introduction to show me that you indeed are familiar with those policies. So every objective we have in this class is measured in some way. So if I want you to learn something, I have to measure it to know if you've learned it or not. And let me just show you how you can see that. So the next item you'll see on the Start Here page is the syllabus, and underneath that is just more policies. So we're going to skip that for a minute. If you'll scroll back up to the top of that Start Here page and look on the left, you'll see a link to a course map. Okay? So it's under course material. Just click on that for me. And it's going to bring up a page where you see an image. And you're also going to see a PDF link. I gave you that link in case you want to print it out for yourself. But just look at the image for now. It's the same thing as the PDF. It's just not easy to print. So the course map lists for you at the top your course objectives, and then in the table below it, I show you how every single module that we go through in this course meets those objectives. So every module has its own objectives, and those match back up to course objectives. And then they have activities and assessments. So if I want you to learn something for that module, first I have to make sure it builds toward a course objective. Then I have to make sure there's some activity we do so that you can learn about that skill. And then there's some way that I assess it. So for each module, you can see how all these things line up. Okay? All right, now let's go click back on the Start Here button. And remember I said the next item on the list there was the course syllabus. So I want you to skip past that for just a second because we're going to look at that more in depth in a minute. And the next thing you'll see underneath that is the college syllabus. This is the same college syllabus that you have in all of your classes. So I don't write this, the college writes it. So you can look at that if you want. It just has specific policies and procedures that apply to all of our classes. Okay, then under that, look where it says learning materials. So I know that when I was in college, a question I had a lot of the time was, okay, so what are we going to be using to learn in this class? So in this class, our learning materials are very similar to what they would be if you were taking this class on campus. So you can see there we use textbook, and we're going to have 2 main textbooks. We have lecture notes, so they may not always be videos like this, but they'll be PowerPoint presentations where you can view a more detailed version of the lecture notes I would give in person. And then you're going to have quizzes. So occasionally you'll take quizzes that will be able to show me that you understand what you've studied for that module. Discussion posts, this is a really big deal for this class. So since we are not meeting in person, a lot of thinking about what you read is being able to discuss what you read. So every time we have a reading for the class, I'm going to provide you with a place to go and discuss that. So it'll have a prompt there. So I'll put what we read in the context and ask you to talk specifically about an aspect of it. But then your classmates will be able to respond to you, and you'll be able to see what they have to say about the same topic, and that can really help you to further your understanding. Okay, process papers. Those are little kind of worksheets that I've created for your benefit, and it will take you from beginning to end of the process of writing each of our essays. So before we get to that point, we will learn the process of writing an essay. But I found it helpful to some students in the past to then give them basically a worksheet, like a checklist that says, do this first, do this second, to just help you remember how to create that essay. And then supplemental materials. So there'll be other materials from time to time that I feel like will help you help to reinforce a certain skill, and I'll post those. So you might be wondering where all that stuff can be found. Well, we're getting to that. Okay, so the next thing you'll see there is our communication policy. Basically, you need to become familiar with your Calhoun email account. If you don't know how to log into that, learn today. It tells you there how to do it. And check that daily. So everything that's sent to your Calhoun email account is something that we can hold you responsible for. So if I send something to you there, then that means it's fair game for the course. That would be very unusual for me to send you material to your email account. But if I do need to let you know something through your email account individually, that's how I do it. So just know that if I've let you know that, I assume that you know it. Okay. There's a note there about some technical things, tech support, software policies, technical requirements. You can read through all of those. What I want you to know for sure is that your technical support in this class, first and foremost, is the IT help desk. So their phone number is posted for you. Their email address is posted there for you. Please contact them first if you have a technical issue. And if it cannot be resolved, then contact me. Okay? At the very bottom, I have this little blurb about me. You can read that if you would like. But I'll get into that before I let you go. Okay, so now I want you to go to the top left menu item. You'll see it says underneath Start Here, it says Content. I want you to click on Content. So we went through that list of learning materials, and I told you I would show you where that kind of stuff is. So the Content section of our course is the section where you're going to log on for that week. You're going to go to the Content section. You're going to find the date range that you're in right now, and it's going to list for you the materials, the tasks that you have to complete. So let's just walk through week 1, okay? So look here where it says under Content, if you've opened that up, at the top it says, how do I complete a module? So you can read through that, and that's what I'm about to take you through. So look where it says Module 1. So it says Module 1, then it gives you the title of that module, which is Course Introduction. Then it gives you the date range. So that lets you know the days you have to complete this module, okay? Then under that, you will see our module objectives. When you finish this module, you should be able to. So in this case, it is recall course syllabus and orientation information, demonstrate ability to post collegiate level communication for instructor and peers, and identify major grammar errors, okay? So then click on the module title to begin. So click where it says Course Introduction. And then another page will open. So on this page at the top, and this is going to be the same for every module, you guys. So at the top, you'll have a box that says your module overview. So that's where I just let you know briefly in a couple of sentences what it is we're going to be doing in this module. And then underneath that, you'll see a list of your tasks. So these are all the tasks you have to complete for the module. So let me say this, and I want you to really listen to this. There are other sections of Blackboard, the discussion section, the grade section, the course syllabus, the course map, all that. What you need to worry about every single time you log in is going to this content section, because everything you have to do in this class for a grade can be found here. Everything. Okay? So if I've given you this list of tasks and you have to complete it, where are you going to find the materials to complete? I always post them below. So let's look at that. So Module 1 tasks, let's look at this list. Task number 1, complete the Let's Get Started items on the Start Here page. I've provided a link to the Start Here page. Okay, so you go and you do that first. Then you come back. The next task, complete the course introduction quiz by 11 p.m. on Sunday, August 28th. The quiz is posted below. Scroll down, and what do you know? There's a link to the course introduction quiz. You complete that, and you move on to the next item on the task list. Post a paragraph introducing yourself to our class in the discussion section under Introduction by Sunday, August 28th at 11 p.m. Okay, so scroll down. You'll see a spot that says Module 1 Post. You click on that, you go and create your post. Okay. Read the following chapters in your Hacker book. That's your Diane Hacker textbook. I've listed the chapters. You go read those chapters. You come back to the next task. View the grammar review. If you scroll down, you'll see a PowerPoint presentation. You'll see a little link there that says Grammar Review. You click on that and you view it. Then you take the last task list, item on the task list, take the grammar quiz. So scroll down and you'll see Major Grammar Errors Quiz. You take that. Okay, so you can see that I've given you a list of tasks in the order they should be completed, and every item has its associated materials posted below itself. Okay? So hopefully you'll get in the flow of that being the way things are organized, and it will become very easy for you. So just know that all of the content you need to access for our course lives inside this content section. You don't have to click all over the place, a bunch of different menu items. I have included those for you within these modules. All right, so let's go, just so I can show you, let's assume that you're getting ready to post your discussion for this week. So go down underneath the module overview and find where it has your Module 1 post link and click on that. And when you click on that, it'll take you to the discussion section of Blackboard. Okay, so it opens up our discussion board, and you will see the very first box there is Module 1 due by August 28th. So this is how all of your discussion board posts will be. It'll list the module number and then when it's due. And you'll notice for Module 2, you have 2 due dates. That means you have 2 posts that are due on 2 separate days. And I normally do that when it's the kind of situation where I want you to have peer feedback. So I can't just give you 1 due date. What I want to do is give you 2. So the first due date, you're posting your material, and the second due date, you're posting your response to somebody else's material. Okay, so let's just look at that Module 1 due by August 28th. Over to the right under description, you will always see me give you the assignment. Then I will tell you how to submit it. And then I will give you some reminders. So I'm just reminding you that every time you create a post, this is a graded assignment. Right? So remember that this is for a grade. It's not just a casual place to go and discuss things. So click on Module 1. and it's going to open up that forum. So you'll see there it says Create Thread. Go ahead and click on Create Thread. And then you will see two main areas that you need to fill out. One is the subject line, and the other is just this message box that you can type kind of like you would an email. So in the subject line, I always want you to put, whatever it is that we're talking about and your name. So let's say I was going to create a post here. So I would say Melanie Basham, Module 1 post. Okay, that would be perfectly fine. And then that's not gradable, you guys. That's just my suggestion to make it easy on you. Right? So your name and the title of the post, no big deal. Then the message section, you're going to type your post. What I want you to see is that this message is formatable. So if you need to italicize something, you can do that there. If you need to double space, left align, indent, you can do all of those things in this message section. So there are times that you will need to post citations or post a paragraph. And a paragraph looks a certain way. Citations look a certain way. You can do all of that right here on the post. So once you do that, then you go down and click Submit. And when you click Submit, don't do it now, but when you click Submit, you will get a green message that says Successful, okay? So that's how you know that you've been effective in completing the post. Just click Cancel so we can get out of this. Now, the only other two sections of Blackboard that we use are the announcement section, and that is actually the default for when you log into this course. It takes you straight there. So just make sure you read through those if there's any new ones that you haven't seen. That's where I'll go if I need to let you know something as a class. So just check that whenever you log in. And then also the My Grades section, that's where you go and see your grades. So as soon as I grade something, it'll be posted there for you, and you can get with me and let me know if there's been some kind of an error. All right, so really all you need to do, every time you log in, you'll view the announcements because that's where you'll be. Then you'll just go click on that content section and work through that task list, okay? So before I let you guys go, let's quickly look at our course syllabus. You'll pull that up. Let me pull mine up over here. All right, so in this class, I do not have an office on campus. So if you want to get in touch with me, the very best way to do that is to email me. And I provided my email address for you here. If you have something that's more urgent or something that's more detailed that requires a conversation, please feel free to give me a call. I've given you my cell phone number there. I'm happy for you to call me if you have any questions. Or if you need to text with a quick question, that's fine too. Don't feel like you're bothering me if I don't call you right back or if I don't answer. I will get back with you. You are not bothering me at all, so feel free to use that. And you'll see that if you need to meet with me, I don't have office hours because I don't have an office. I work from home. So if there's a time that you need to meet with me face-to-face, just let me know and we can work that out, okay? So the course information is listed below that. You guys can read through that. I'm assuming if you're in this class that you've either passed 093 or you've scored certain scores on competency tests. So just take a look at that, and if you feel like you have not met those markers, you need to let me know. We've already talked about course objectives. We'll skip past that. Let's go to our textbook materials. You have two textbooks in this class. One of them is your, let me grab it over here. It is From Inquiry to Academic Writing. Okay, you will find this in the bookstore. You need to buy this book. Okay, this is the third edition. It is fine with me if you guys buy used books. Just make sure it's the right book. Okay? And then you will also need, this is the book I call the Hacker Book, a writer's reference, and this one is the 8th edition. So again, buy a used one if you can. It's less expensive, but make sure it's the right book. I'm often going to refer to page numbers, so if you don't have the right book, it can get pretty confusing because you'll be turning to the wrong section. So make sure you pick up both of these books. And we will use them frequently. I don't like to ask you to buy a book if we're not going to use it. So just know that you'll be spending your money well because we will use them quite a bit. And then you'll see listed here that you also need to have reliable computer, email, and internet access. So make sure that you have these, you guys, or that you have scheduled significant chunks of time at a place where you have access to this kind of thing. This is an online course, so all technical issues that occur on your end are yours to figure out. If it occurs through Blackboard, then that's for me and for the IT department to figure out. But if you're having trouble completing the items in the course because you don't have a fast enough internet connection, or your computer is just, crashes on you half the time, then you're not going to be successful in the class. So go ahead and be thinking through those issues now. Okay. The Writing Center, so both campuses have writing centers, and what they are, they're staffed with people who use the HackerBook, who know very well what it is that we're teaching in these classes, and they can really help you. Now, what I would ask you to do not go in there with a rough draft of an essay and say, here, look at this. When you go in there, please have specific items that you need help with. So maybe you're having a hard time formatting your essays according to MLA style. Maybe you're having a hard time with run-ons. Maybe you're having a hard time with finding academic sources. Those are the kind of things you go to the Writing Center for. So it's not a place to go to expect them to help you write your entire paper, but it is a place you can go and get feedback on your papers, where you can have them help you with specific tasks that you're trying to, specific skills that you're trying to hone. So please use them. They're really great. So instructional methods, we've already talked about that when we went over our learning materials. So I'm going to be posting lectures for you guys. You're going to be doing readings. You're going to be writing papers, taking quizzes, doing discussion board posts, and that's how we're going to proceed. So let's just quickly talk about cheating and plagiarism. So in this class, I take those offenses very seriously, to the extent that if I catch you cheating or plagiarizing a paper, I will fail you for the class. So not just for the assignment, you'll receive a failing grade for the course. I cannot think of a reason that you would have an excuse to do that. So please don't do it. And also know that when you submit assignments to me, we have software called Safe Assign, so it filters and checks for plagiarism. So it's very easy for me to catch you if you do that. So just don't do it, okay? If you have questions about that, you can see a link there to the student handbook. So where your grades come from? Well, you're going to be writing 5 essays for me in this class, and each of those 5 will carry 10%. Then you're going to be writing the documented essay, which will carry 20%. And then you're going to be getting a participation grade, which will carry 30%. So participation includes not just, did you complete assignments, but they're actually graded. So quizzes, discussion board posts, little mini assignments I might give you. So say you write a sample outline for me. Those are all, most of those are graded assignments. So sometimes I might say, send me your outline so I can see if you know how to do outlines correctly. That's not something I will grade and take points off for. It's either you didn't do it, you get a 0, you did it, it's 100. So that's really a true participation grade. But there's other assignments that factor into participation, like your quizzes and your discussion board posts. Those are gradable. So all those will be averaged together, and that will come up with your participation grade that way. Okay. My grade scale, so it's a traditional scale. You should be very familiar with that. Okay, let's talk about our essays. So each essay assignment is going to be introduced to you in a lecture that I'll post on Blackboard, and those first 5 essays you write are going to be 500 words each. All of our written assignments that we turn in are going to be formatted in MLA format, and you should just really spend a lot of time revising these essays. We'll go through the process, but these are your most serious assignments, if I can put it that way, in this course. It's a composition course. So when you write for me, you really need to pay attention and cultivate that. And then your final essay is called your documented essay. It's 1,000 words long and will be similar to the other essays we've written, except you will be required to do, research is not the best word, but that's what I'm going to use. You'll be required to do some research to find sources to support yourself for that essay. Okay. Essay submission. So when you're ready to turn an essay into me, you will find a submission area in the module where you send it to me. So for example, let's say in Module 6 you have an essay due. So in your task list, one of your tasks will be to submit the essay. You'll scroll down underneath that and you'll find a button to click to submit your essay. And what you're going to do is you'll have saved it on your computer, and you're going to upload it there and click submit. And when you click submit, just like on your discussion board post, you should get a green success message. And if you don't get that message, go ahead and email me that essay just to be sure. Okay? So the discussion board, you're going to frequently have a chance to post to the discussion board. And you can go there and find the rubric, which is the means by which I grade those. And you'll see that really what I'm asking for is for you to address the prompt and to give specific support for whatever it is you're saying. So basically, if you follow the instructions there and really think it through, you'll have success with those. Your participation grades, we talked about that, right? It's a combination of the quizzes and the discussion board posts and those little mini assignments. And if you'll notice, guys, that's worth more than anything else in this class. So don't get behind, don't skip assignments. That can really hurt you in the end. All right, so I have a little note there about Blackboard. I don't think I have to tell you that, because if you're watching this video, you've already logged into Blackboard. So let's just skip that and go down to our tentative schedule. So I have listed there for you all 11 modules and their date ranges. And it's very much like what you see when you log into the content section. So I give you the module title, the date range, and then I let you know what your due dates are for that module. Okay? And you'll notice, if you go down to module 11, you'll notice that your due date for that documented essay is the same as the due date for the final exam. That's because the documented essay and the final exam are the same thing. So don't get confused about that. Okay? Attendance in this class, as long as you are progressing and completing assignments, I assume you're attending. It's very important this first week that you submit your assignments, because we're required to turn in attendance for the first week. It affects your financial aid. So make sure that you submit assignments this first week. Okay? Makeup work, so late work, makeup work, there's no such thing as that in this class unless you have an emergency. So if you turn in an assignment late, I don't grade it. If you've gotten behind in a class and you want to ask to go back and turn in things that you never turned in, I don't allow that. The only exception is if you have some kind of emergency that's going on. Okay? But if you do, be sure to let me know that. All right. The only other thing I want to talk to you about is online etiquette, which is what we call netiquette. So it's very important that we maintain a respectful learning environment. So even though we're not all sitting in the same room like we would be on campus, in the discussion board in particular, we're going to be having a back and forth. And a lot of times I purposefully ask you to criticize, to tell me what the weaknesses are of what somebody else has said. When you do that, just be respectful. I want you to be truthful. I want you to provide specific examples so that that person can see those weaknesses. But I do not want you to be disrespectful. And I think we all know what that means. Just treat other people how you want to be treated, right? If that's not happening, and I notice that, I will first contact you, privately and ask that you stop the behavior. If the behavior does not stop, then I will have you removed from the class. It is poisonous to an education environment to have disrespectful dialogue. We just can't have that. So be sure that you're respectful. I will also try to be very respectful of you when I communicate. Straightforward, yes. Honest, yes. But respectful. So you guys do the same. Okay, so as you proceed in the class, just know that anytime I give you an assignment, where that assignment's been posted, you will also see what's called a rubric. So that tells you exactly what my expectations are for that assignment, okay? And as we go along, if you ever have questions, feel free to ask me. That's what I'm here for. Just because you're not seeing me face to face doesn't mean I'm not interested and not here to help you. So before I let you go, just a little bit about myself. I have been teaching at Calhoun since the fall of 2009, and I love it. I got my undergraduate degree from Auburn in Public Relations. Then I got my master's at UAH in English and Education, and I've been teaching at Calhoun ever since. Well, you can see a picture, if you go to my About Miss Basham blurb, you can see a picture of my daughters, Elise and Rosie. They are, as Elise would say, crazy nuts. They're crazy nuts. They're pretty laid-back kids, actually. I'm lucky in that way, but they're very silly, so it's fun. And then my husband, Shane, I can't forget him. We've been married for, I think, 11 years. And we went to high school together, actually. Met in high school, but didn't start dating until we were almost out of college. And I was at Auburn, he was here, so it was a long-distance kind of thing. but it's been great. I've been so blessed by that. And I will tell you that the reason I love teaching at Calhoun is because of the diversity of students. So, I'll have students in my class that are 18 years old and they're 80 years old in the same class. And I love that because I think it shows how all kinds of different people value education. In my family, I feel like maybe that's taken for granted because my grandparents, they're all college educated. My aunts and uncles all are. My cousins all are. We just all are. But there are some of you that this is the first time you are really stepping out there and getting your college education, and no one else in your family has. Maybe none of your friends have their educations. And I'm just so privileged to be able to be a part of that and to help you achieve whatever it is that you want to educationally. So if I can help you, not just in this class, but help you in some other way with your other courses or maybe some decisions you're trying to make, just call me and we'll chat about it. I guess it's easy to give advice, so I'm happy to do that. But I really do care. I want you to know that. I really do care about not just how you do in this class, but, your life, that you succeed. So I want to say with that you will not succeed in this class unless you're willing to work hard. So I don't try to make the class hard, but anytime you're learning a new skill, it's difficult, right? So anytime you're stretching yourself and trying to do something new, it's difficult. So I hope that you find that I teach in a way that makes it as easy as it can be. But my goal is not to be an easy teacher or a hard teacher. My goal is to teach, and I hope your goal is to learn. All right. I guess I have kept you long enough. I really appreciate you watching this video. So if I were you, I would go to the content section. I would click on Module 1. I would read the overview, and then I would start completing all those tasks on the task list one at a time. If you have any questions, need me for anything this first week or any time after that in this class or even beyond this class, please feel free to get in touch with me. Thanks, guys. Talk to you again soon.